Okay, so this video is long overdue, and I have recorded videos, like segments, like kind of telling what I'm about to tell everyone, but then things just kept changing. Things have changed so much in the last couple months that it was just hard to kind of figure out what was going on. And so now I feel like we have a pretty good understanding, and I want to just make this video to kind of update everything. And so back in beginning of November, it is now December 9th. I think I never know the date. It's the 9th. And back in November, like 4th, I think, I had those CT scans, and I was like almost done with radiation. And I talked a little bit, I believe, about how in the scans there was a couple concerning things, but we were like waiting on like more clarification. And so this is kind of what happened. So I had the scans in November, and pretty much everything was good, except there were two spots, one in my chest, one in my armpit, like in the lymph node area, that lit up and kind of indicated that there was like something there, like a mass, a nodule, something. And so, you know, that was concerning. We're like, okay, let's see what happens. So talked to my doctor, which it did take a little bit of time, even just to talk to the doctor, like just over the weekend and then a couple days later. But right before we went to Florida, I talked to my doctor, and she said she looked at everything very closely. She pulled up all my CT scans and compared them with us. Like, we were doing a virtual visit, and she like screen shared, and I was really able to take a closer look. And she wasn't concerned about the armpit one, because she says, you know, cancer in the armpit follows like a very particular pattern, and like they kind of know what to see and what to expect, and this didn't look like anything. And we also had just had my armpit ultrasound in like October, because another CT I had for my radiation simulation popped up, and so they really were not concerned about that. But she said, we'll take a closer look at that too. And then, but she said the chest area, she's like, it's probably nothing, but just given your history, let's go ahead and do an ultrasound. Well, U of M was very backed up with their ultrasounds, and so I wasn't able to see anyone. It wasn't originally scheduled until like December 16th, and this was like a while ago. And so we went to Florida. You know, we kind of just like we were hopeful it was nothing, and wanted to just like enjoy your time. At the same time, you know, I really just wanted to like celebrate being done with radiation and this, and I was really just praying for a clear scan. And so just to have any kind of question was just frustrating. Go to Florida, come back from Florida, and my surgeon made an appointment. And I wasn't even sure why she made an appointment, but she made an appointment to see her. Like, and so I went and saw her, and she tried to see if she could feel anything. She could not feel anything, which is good. And she made the appointment because she was thinking like by the time she had the appointment, I would have already had my ultrasound, but they were like 6 weeks backed up. So, but I didn't have it scheduled. So she said at that appointment, okay, you know, she looked at all the scans again with me too. Not too concerned. She's like, okay. She's like, if I could feel it, I was just gonna try and remove it, but can't feel it, so I'll just wait to get your ultrasound done. But she said that she was gonna try and move it up. So then like another week goes by, and then last week, the appointment got moved up. Like the day before, like on Monday I got the call, and Tuesday I had my appointment, last Tuesday. I'm so confused in the dates. I seriously should look at a calendar. Yes, Tuesday, December 30th. Tuesday, November 30th, I had ultrasound done. At that ultrasound appointment, Paul went with me. They couldn't find anything. And they were even like looking at the CT. They were like literally measuring me to see what they could find. Couldn't see anything. They also checked my lymph node area again, very clearly, couldn't see anything. Gave me one of those pieces of paper that said, our ultrasound today indicates no cancer. Please follow up with your doctor. So Paul was like ready to celebrate, and I was like, I didn't have peace about it. I was like, I just want to follow up with my doctor and just double check that there's nothing else they want to do. So I didn't hear anything from them. And then we get like this portal message like the next day from the ultrasound that did in the ultrasound, like when they do the test result, it just indicated that there was some they just kept talking about a nodule, and I'm like, they did this ultrasound and it was clear. I literally have another piece of paper that says everything's good. But the ultrasound indicated something about this new nodules in a new area, and it was like so confusing. And so I'm like, okay, I was like still trying to get all of my doctors. Then all of a sudden on Friday, like afternoon, I get a portal message, like an alert on my phone that I have a new appointment. And this appointment said it was for Monday. This is a Friday. And this is so frustrating. And it said like ultrasound or cross-sectional ultrasound for a biopsy or something like that. And I was like, what? I don't even know what this is. And so I called the number that was on the appointment scheduled. And I said, I said, first of all, what body part are we biopsying? They said, well, we're gonna place a mag seed, which is like this little metal tracker they place so that it can be removed later in surgery. And this is the first time I was hearing about a surgery. So I'm like, what is going on? I said, okay, well, what body part? And they said in a lymph node in your armpit. And then I'm like, I thought that was like triply clear. So confused. Then I called back and I asked, okay, what doctor ordered it? And it was my surgeon. And I also asked, when did she order it? Because I'm like, maybe this is something she talked about weeks ago, and like she put it in it, then it just got scheduled on accident, because I was so confused. And nope, called my doctor, couldn't get a hold of her, talked to a nurse. She was very confused about what was going on, and my surgeon was in surgery. So then later on, my surgeon finally called back. I could tell she was in the car too, and she apologized. It's still frustrating, but I guess they had wanted to do this, so she had emailed the radiology department to see if it was possible to do something like this. And they said yes, and then they just scheduled it without like talking to her again or letting her have a chance to talk to me. So apparently, even though something can be so small, an ultrasound can't pick it up, if a CT picks it up, I guess what happened was there was something. The CT picked it up that I had in November, and I thought it was clear because the ultrasound was clear, but it still can be there. I thought ultrasound can pick up everything, but apparently they can't. They can't see everything. Something can be so small that an ultrasound can't even pick it up. So my surgeon wanted to place a mag seed in my chest. She wanted to do a CT imaging to locate the nodule, the mass again, place a mag seed tracker, and then she was going to do a surgery, very non-invasive, very small surgery to remove it and the mass or the nodule to test it. She's like, we could just biopsy it, but then if it's something tricky, then we're gonna have to go in and remove it, and it's so small, and it was very, what the word they keep saying is it's not very deep, very close to the surface, let's just go in and get it. So I'm like, okay, I'm on board with that. I just like needed communication. It was frustrating, this is, we found this out on a Friday, right, like we're in December now, thinking about Christmas. We thought we could like celebrate, being cancer free and all this for Christmas, but it was just frustrating. So Monday I go in to get my CT done, and they do like 3 or 4 chest CTs, no contrast. No, I didn't have to drink anything this time. But I go in, and the doctor says that he, like for the first couple, he said, okay, we're having a hard time finding it. So we're gonna see if we can like do something a little bit different, get a clear image. I'm gonna talk to another doctor and see what we can do. And so I was like on the table, and I'm like praying. I'm like sitting like this for like 45 minutes and praying. I was like, Lord, please let it be gone, completely gone, so there's no question. Or let them be able to find it so we can just get it removed and not have to worry about it. Oh, I didn't get either of those. I got somewhere in the middle. after another half an hour of them doing more scans, the doctor comes in and she says, a different doctor that's working with the male doctor. She's a great doctor. I haven't met, like, she hasn't been on my case at all, and that's important later. She isn't like, she's just now coming into like my narrative. But she takes me in the back room, and then like a nurse, she's like, I want to show you all these scans. I'm like, okay. And then another nurse is like, wait, she can't come back here. Can we just show her on the screen and I'll just transfer it? And she's like, no, I just want to bring her back here. And he's like, okay, let me go in. And he like, you know, like HIPAA laws, and he like cleared a bunch of stuff. And he was kind of frustrated. But as she takes me back there, she shows me 3 different computer screens. And the first one is my scan from February, when my HER2 positive tumor, and she shows me that. Then she shows me my scan that I just had in the beginning of November, and what they were concerned with, why I had the ultrasound while I'm having this done, very small. And then she shows me my scans from today, and it was tiny, like she described it as a wisp, like so little. And it was like hard to even like locate. And she said, this has shrunk even in the last month. It's so small. And so she says, you know, whatever therapies you're on, they're obviously working. It's so small, it would even be hard to like mark and track, and then even be hard to like get in surgery. And so we're not going to do the placement, the mag seed placement. I'm not going to like insert that. And so I'm like, okay. And like, she was saying like it was a good thing, but I was just thinking, but it's not there. Obviously we can remove it, and then it's also not just gone. It's still something, you know? And it was just frustrating. I'm like, I wish it was just gone completely. And so they didn't place anything. I didn't have any like procedure done. I just had the scans. And then she does like a follow-up notes, summary, test results in my portal, and describes that, like, it describes, you know, why they didn't do it and what they saw and everything like that. So then my doctor, my oncologist, finally yesterday, I had a virtual visit with my oncologist, and basically here's where we're at. First of all, I could tell she was frustrated that this doctor, who just kind of came in at the end, like tried to like make like a story with like the same tumor shrinking, because this might be nothing. This could be an oil cyst. This could be a scar tissue. Apparently this could even be like after cancer has like disappeared, it could, like, it's like the remnants behind, like the dead cells behind. It could be something like that. It is tiny, which is good. And so I could tell that she's just frustrated, because like this doctor didn't know that much about my whole story, and just kind of, she made it, when she talked to me, made it sound like it was the same tumor. And then I'm like, wait, this is the same tumor I had in February? I thought we got that out of surgery. You know, it just was really confusing. And there was lots of confusion, I could tell, between all the doctors about the location of this and this and this, and it's because it's so small. So where we're at right now is I'm not gonna have surgery right now. I will have another CT in February. I just scheduled it today, February 17th. I'll have another CT of the chest to look at this to see if it's gone, because it already has gotten smaller in 1 month, or if it's gotten bigger. If it's gotten bigger, then they'll be able to place the mag seed and then remove it and test it, which is what we were gonna do if they could have last week. And if it's gone, then she said we'll do another scan in like 3 to 6 months later, and just to follow it until, she said, we get bored. She's not too concerned with it, but just given my history, it is like something they want to like follow and watch. I was told by another doctor that like my whole cancer, how it came with my age, not having the like genetic, I don't have the mutation that you would assume. It's not following any like rules or patterns. It's just kind of, it just happened. Like, we don't really know why. And so it is important to like follow these things and to like remove them if they are a problem, obviously. And so that's where we're at. In short, my CT in November wasn't clear. I had an ultrasound, which was clear. But then my surgeon still wanted to do surgery. We're not able to find it because I had another CT and it got even smaller. So now our plan is to wait, and I'll have another scan to see if this grows or goes away. So we're praying that it just is gone and is clear and that there's no question. That's what we want. That's what I want. I want just to not have to think or worry or like have anything in the back of my mind. And I'm not like overly worried about it, but I know that it is like, it's there, it's something. Yes, and so I don't know, maybe February is the new celebration party time, because in February I'll be done with my injections, and you know, it will have been a whole year since I started chemo, and so it would be really awesome just to have a clear CT then with no question marks next to it and no watch, you know, I don't want to have to watch anything any longer. I just want it to be gone. I hope that makes sense. It was very confusing, like it was like emotional roller coaster as well for me over the last couple of weeks, just like thinking we're good and then we're not, and then this, and then all of a sudden I'm probably gonna have surgery and then I'm not, and now we have to wait longer. But overall we're good, we're happy. Oh, I also started tamoxifen 2 weeks ago, and so far I haven't had any noticeable side effects, and so that's really good because I'll be on that for 5 years. And that's that anti-estrogen pill, and it's like 1 pill a day. My insurance covers it completely. They don't even have a copay for it, and there are like lots of side effects, but so far I'm not having anything with it. And I did meet with a gynecologist, OB, who specializes in like cancer patients and things like that, and talked to her about because like I could just be in tamoxifen. I could do tamoxifen plus having like ovarian suppression, or like stopping my ovaries from working either by injections or by a surgery. And we talked about the risk and benefits of it, and you know, the benefits is that it does decrease my chances of a recurrence, but it puts me in like early menopause, and that's just like some definite side effects I would have at such a young age, things I would be dealing with every single day. And so we're just gonna try this tamoxifen. I was told my chance of reoccurrence is 10% right now, looking at like other past history, but since starting this medication, it takes it down to like a 6% chance, which is even lower. And so we're gonna go with it. We're gonna see how long we can last on it. Thank you everyone for prayers and support and kind of coming along for this crazy ride. Hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas, and I hope this makes sense, because I don't know, I feel like as I was explaining it, it wasn't making that much sense, but it is. This whole thing is just strange. You know, we were told that cancer isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. I'm like, yes, that's definitely true. And I was reading in a book about how like there can be like false peaks, you know, like you think God has answered a prayer, or you think you've reached the end of a struggle or a trial, and just like in hiking, if you're hiking up a mountain, you think you got to the top of the mountain, but it's a false peak. And that's kind of how it's felt. And so we're praying that we're almost to the end. And I know we are, and we've come so long. We've done a lot this year. So again, thank you everyone.